If it is one thing I'm very glad for when it comes to modern indie games, is that we have gotten a lot more 3D platformers. Now 2D platformers has always been there, but 3D was pretty rare, but now there is so much more to choose. And for this video I'll be looking at one that came out last year, Penny's Big Breakaway, developed by Evening Star with Christian Whitehead and Hunter Bridges as directors. Now Christian Whitehead has been dipping his toes into the Sonic series, creating these excellent ports of Sonic 1, 2 and CD, and then later on directing Sonic Mania, which by the way is still a banger today. It is so good. But does Penny's Big Breakaway do justice to the 3D platformer genre? Well, let's find out. Booting up the game, we are met with these bombastic menus full of color. You could easily tell this was directed by the same guy who did Mania, having bouncy menu options, having a lot of yellows, and having the same artist for the character portraits as in Sonic Mania's cover art. And just like in Sonic Mania, it all looks fantastic. The game opens up with our main protagonist Penny walking around and spots a poster for a talent competition. Getting excited, she runs towards the location. But on her way, her yo-yo transforms into a living yo-yo with a mouth, and they become instantly best buds. Skipping the line in front of everyone, she performs and everyone loves it, including the king. Her magical yo-yo, however, decides to eat the king's clothes, which makes everyone laugh at him. So he wants Penny to be jailed for 10,000 years, sending his penguin army after her. And with that, Penny has to escape from the penguins, learn more about the magical string of hers, and clear her name. It's a very simple yet effective plot. Some of the story is presented in some 3D cutscenes, but most of them are in 2D illustrations. I think the 2D illustrations looks pretty nice, and we got some pretty nice character expressions from them. There is no voice acting in the game, but instead the character talks in Banjo-Kazooie. Basically gibberish, but I always love to hear that in games. Now the presentation of the game really gives me major Sonic Mania vibes, which, I mean, yeah, it's directed by the same guy, so obviously. I loved how Mania looked from its beautiful graphics, its beautiful presentation, and this game is no exception. I love the colors used here as they pop so much. The red and purple lava to the light blues of ice, it all looks fantastic. The environments looks really great, and there's about 10 different ones in the game, which is more than I expected. My favorite environments were the pool levels. I absolutely love the atmosphere in this, and the design of these levels looks amazing. The same goes for the character designs. They're all really great and unique in their own way. Penny especially has such a fantastic design. Not only is yellow and purple a really good combination, which makes up for a very sick outfit, but she also has so many great expressions. There is a pretty fun detail that down on the health bar, they will show her expressions at all times, which will change depending what action you do in game, which can look really funny. I also love the designs of the penguins that chase after you. It just looks so funny to me, especially later on when you get chased by these big fat ones.
Oh no! Oh no! What will I do? Oh my god! I gotta run! Oh my god! I gotta run, dude! Holy shit! They're catching up! Oh my god! They're catching up! I gotta.
But with a great looking game, how is the gameplay? The gameplay I could closest compare to is probably Mario Odyssey, both having characters using an otherworldly creature to help them getting through obstacles. Penny can double jump, she can launch forward, she can use her yo-yo to attack enemies, she can also use the yo-yo as a swinging rope in the air, she can also spin around either as an attack against enemies or drill the big bolts. And lastly, using the yo-yo as a vehicle, being able to not only move pretty fast but also get through obstacles in multiple ways. I do overall really like Penny's moveset, but I also did notice sometimes it would just not properly work. Like several times I was speeding, I wanted to go as fast as possible and wanted to ride off the yo-yo, but pressing the button it just did nothing. Or how sometimes I want to swing in the air with the yo-yo, but instead I just dashed and almost fell to my death. This really did ruin the flow of the game sometimes. You know, you're going as fast as possible only for one of the moves not to work, and then it ruins all momentum. It didn't happen all the time, but enough where it was noticeable. But when it works, it's great. When you can actually manage to speed through, it's exhilarating and it's really fun. Sadly though, this game has some other issues as well. It has some really odd bugs. Now imagine this, I had played the first 3 levels and enjoyed myself despite the frame drops here and there. I turned the game off, watched some YouTube videos, came back 1 hour after, and when I turned the game on...
What the fuck is going on? What the hell? Okay, what the fuck is going on? What the fuck? What is going on?
I restarted the PC 5 times and this bug will still happen. After that, yeah, it will work again. Until next time when I open the game again and it happened again.
Okay, so it speeds up when I have the controller plugged in. I tested with my keyboard and mouse, and that's when it worked. But I... This game should work great with your controller. Sure, buddy.
I have never played a game that has a glitch like this. Like, how does this happen? At this point, I was actually considering dropping the game because of this, but I did push on, and thankfully for the rest after this, the game would not have many weird glitches at all. The main goal of the game is not only to complete the stages, but to also find the 3 of these coins in each stage, as well as helping free citizens with their troubles. These big coins act as the star coins in Super Mario Bros. DS, where collecting enough of them will unlock extra levels. The citizens, however, are just for the completionist sake. The quests they give you can range from, oh hey Penny, could you give this item to my friend, to now I hit the second tower. Some of them are time-based though, meaning that you have to do them as fast as possible. You also have an overall score to each stage, and depending on how much you get by the end of the stage, you can unlock a art picture. I'll be honest, I find this a very lame reward, so I didn't bother unlocking all of this. At the end of each stage, there is a cylinder you can jump on to finish the stage. You have to do some tricks by pressing the correct buttons, which will grant you coins. The higher you land on this thing, the more tricks you have to do, but the more coins you earn. But the normal coins, they don't really do anything. I mean, you can buy a few items to make your time easier in the game, but the game is already so easy that I don't really see the point in making it even easier. I collected coins just to get the achievement. After that, I did not care for them. What I did care about was this game's soundtrack, and it was great. Coming back from Sonic Mania, we have T-Loops returning to compose the music alongside Sean Bialo. Sonic Mania's soundtrack was incredible, and still to this day, it's just absolutely stellar. I wouldn't put Penny's music as highly as Mania's, but it's still very strong. Penny's Jigs Up is the perfect track to introduce the first level with. Being funky, but also so happy, it's one of my favorites. Land Ho Diablo is an awesome boss track. This one being composed by Sean, who I must say I'm not really familiar with the previous work, but damn, this stuff is great. Chromatone oscillations are just a banger too, being more mechanical like you're moving through a factory. There's also a very cool detail that when a penguin guard is on Penny, the music will change to a faster version. The soundtrack did not disappoint. Both T-Loops and Sean Bialo did a great job with this. But what I did find disappointing was the bosses. I'm sorry, but I did not like most of them. First one is the penguin ball, where you don't really fight it, but instead just avoid it. I did really like this one. I love seeing the ball around everywhere while you swim across the city and chases you. It's kind of like the boulder levels from Crash 2, just that it chases you everywhere in the city. It's very fun. Second one has you having to drive over to a boat and lose some screws. It's simple, but the problem is that at the last part before reaching the boat, my yo-yo would suddenly just stop and I had to redo the fight from the beginning. This happened like 10 times by the way, so thanks game, that's cool. I did like the pirate lady though, she's pretty cool. Mr. Q fight was just so boring. Doing a bit of like Link and Ganon tennis towards him and then having to shoot these balls in the halls. It's such an easy boss, yet it felt so much longer than it was. I did not like this one. Sumo Eddie was okay, very short, like it ended so quickly, so I didn't really have much else to say. Puppet Penny was alright. It's a simple race to the end where you have to collect more coins and come in the first place. Mostly just a test of your skills than a fight, but it's alright. The giant penguin boss was the worst. This boss was just so annoying due to his weird hitboxes. Like this one swipe move was broken. And even if it didn't look like I was close by, I would still take damage. Judge Rufus was actually pretty fun. I really liked this fight, having to dodge his lightning strikes, steal his hammer and break the chains around the platform. My only gripe is that the boss was too short. I really wish it was longer honestly. It was pretty cool. And the last one is a rematch with Eddie with some added spectacle, and I find it pretty alright. I like how the fight starts at first as Eddie wants to take revenge on Penny, but then ends as his old friend just want to create a good show. I think the fight is cool in a spectacle sense, but as a fight, it's alright, but I did overall enjoy it. So yeah, the fights aren't really that interesting, but I think the characters you meet in game are actually really great though. They all have such fun and unique personalities. My favorites being Judge Rufus and Taboo Artist. I love the judge for being so honest and sticking to the law, even giving Penny a chance to let off all the charges if she gives away her yo-yo. I really expect him to be like this corrupt judge, but he's not. He's just following the law. He's just being an honest man. Also, his design is just perfect, absolute perfection. I also really like Taboo Artist, being an old friend of the king, helping him with the shows before, but left as she didn't feel appreciated enough, and ever since then the king has just felt really sad. She is the one who gave Penny the magical string who turned the yo-yo into like the yo-yo with a mouth. Also I had to mention this, but god damn, those are some serious childbearing hits. But in the end both her and Eddie does reunite alongside Penny, giving a great show. Also this one penguin that puts on the sunglasses was pretty cool too. I just want to mention that. There are some extra levels you can do after the main game is done, being the Star Globe levels. These are the hardest and most gut-wrenching stage in the game, and by that I mean slightly harder than the normal stages. I'm also really happy that these levels are short and don't overstay their welcome. Definitely worth checking out. I am however surprised by the lack of rewards you're given for completing the game 100%. Sure, you get the extra levels for collecting the big coins, but for saving all the citizens as well, you get nothing. No extra cutscenes or costume or anything. It felt so empty honestly. It would have been really cool to get like an extra cutscene of like Taboo congratulating you, and because of your amazing job you get an outfit like her as well. Like that would have been a really cool reward. But instead the game is like, nah, that shit's gay. So that's pretty much Penny's big breakaway, and I will say I overall liked it a bunch, but I still felt a bit disappointed. The game has great visuals and a really awesome soundtrack, fun characters and story, but it can also be clunky, glitchy, and feel unrewarding. I would say it's still worth checking out, just don't expect a masterpiece, but rather just a fun platformer. With that being said, I thank you all for watching and I will see you next time.